So, the more you start working on your introspective work and getting into trauma and understanding behavior, because the childhood things you learn all contribute to your behavior. Actually, they pretty much set the tone for your behavior. Um, Triggers are the things that make you do things that you don't expect you want to do. You're consciously trying to lose weight and you go and buy ice cream bars. This was what I did. Um, Everyone has some sort of avoidant coping mechanism that happens and gets activated when they're triggered. And you might go shopping, you might go to the gym, you might do anything you can to make yourself feel better, and you don't even realize you're doing it. The subconscious is trying to keep you safe. It kind of kicks into that survival, flight, or fight mode. And what it wants to do is keep you in a comfort zone. But you can't learn anything if you don't get out of your comfort zone. So the triggering part means you have to look deeper. It's taking you out of your conscious thought. It's removing you from mindfulness. And the reason it does there's two things, and it all has to do with your level of emotional self-awareness. If you weren't taught how to process, manage, or understand your emotions, your brain is going to know that, and it's going to try to help you when you've had, say, several slights throughout your day and you haven't addressed them. You left, a meeting and you felt like you didn't have a voice, or you felt unworthy, or someone made a comment and you felt, unappreciated. These things happen all day long. We're subject to emotions all throughout the day, but without the tools to identify, process, and release, and to actually get in there and say, hey, this is what this left me feeling as, and to be able to take responsibility for our own emotions, our subconscious just stands as a sentry there and waits until it feels like we can't handle it anymore, and it swoops in. So the trigger is taking you into your subconscious, and it's showing you. It's pretty hard to get out of it once you're in it. Just buy the ice cream. Try to eat half or whatever. Throw the other way if you can. But don't slam yourself. Don't do the negative self-talk. Don't go the next day and be pissed off and think you're less of a person. It's your subconscious trying to protect you. That's all it is. And what you really need to do is you need to now go back and find out where the triggering event was. I'll give you an example. I have a friend who was telling me, just in a conversation, she goes, yeah, I just put out this bowl of almonds the other day, and she goes, it was the weirdest thing. Usually I have those things around for, 2 or 3 days. I set them on the counter. Everybody can snack on them. She goes, I ate the whole bowl. And she's like, that's never really happened to me before. I said, so what happened to your day? She goes, nothing. It was fine, like a normal day. And I'm like, okay, you sure something didn't happen like throughout the day? Any point of the day? No, everything was great. It was a great day. And about 2 minutes later, she goes, oh, I know what it was. I know the conversation. She goes, I know exactly where it was. And it had left her with this piece of anxiety, and she didn't know what to do with it. She didn't even recognize that it happened. So we're so used to ignoring how we felt. We're so used to shoving it under the rug that it's part of our process now. But to get out of that process, what you need to do is go back and find the piece. It took me a long time to learn how to do this because mine was very deep, and I had a very weird childhood where I was really neglected. So you might be able to do this a lot faster than I did, but you just go back and find the piece of what triggered you, so you went through your day. At the end of the day, you had to go do whatever your avoidant coping mechanism is. Find out what happened that day. Go back until you remember feeling fine, until I was fine, and then this happened. Oh, I remember when my boss made this comment, and I didn't even think about it, but it triggers in your mind something that you want to think about. It's trying to get you to address something that you need to think about. Is this person safe for me? Did they say something that's not correct? Do I need to work on that about myself? There's always a piece there that comes from your childhood that needs to be connected back, which is whole nother video, but work on where the trigger starts so you can connect to the core root, and then you can understand what is happening so you're not triggered by that same thing, because our subconscious has plenty of things to trigger us by. So that's how triggers work.